Mike Pompeo actually admitted that the coup in Venezuela isn't supported by the Venezuelan people. We're going to continue on now. I know my last video was about this, of the Washington Post. They were able to obtain a secret recording of a meeting that Mike Pompeo held. And this was not meant to be leaked. There was not supposed to be any press, but it was secretly recorded and it was leaked to the Washington Post. John Hudson, the national security reporter from the Washington Post, was able to secure this. And it is a juicy, juicy audio recording. And if you haven't heard it, I'm going to put the link down below and you can listen to it for yourself. But in it, Pompeo talks, he's addressing various aspects of U.S. foreign policy, so you know it's going to be good. And he talks about, like I mentioned in the last video, meddling in UK's election to ensure that the Labour Party's Jeremy Corbyn doesn't become the next Prime Minister of the UK or one of the future Prime Ministers of the UK. He also talked about the peace plan, the Jared Kushner peace plan for Israel and Palestinians. I'm not going to talk about that today because it's, you know pretty much what that's going to be, which is basically everything's going to be in Israel's favor. And that link is down below again, that you can listen to what he has to say about that. But he does talk about Venezuela. And in it, he admits the coup in Venezuela is not supported by the Venezuelan people. Listen to this.
I want to emphasize this entire meeting is off the record.
Okay, so that just emphasized right there that the meeting is off the record.
This has been our conundrum, which is to keep the opposition united has proven devilishly difficult. Not just that has been public for these last months, but since the day I became CIA director. This was something that was at the center of what President Trump was trying to do.
Oh, okay. So keeping the opposition together in Venezuela has been devilishly difficult. That's what he says. Devilishly difficult. So what does that mean? That means that there's not much fire in the opposition, that people aren't really all that interested in remaining opposed to Maduro. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that Maduro is this really wonderful leader. I don't think any leader's all that great. I'm sure every government is filled with some corrupt jerk that's at the top, to some level, some more corrupt than others. And I'm sure in Venezuela it's not that different. But nonetheless, the United States has intervened in Venezuela. We've tried to squeeze them since Hugo Chavez was president. It's been a disaster what we've been trying to do down there for the Venezuelan people. And he's admitting here that even while he was in the CIA, it was devilishly difficult to keep that opposition together. That's what he just admitted right there.
We've been working, and it took us this long to get to where we are today.
Oh, we've been working and it's taken us this long to get where we are today? Yeah, you mean since the early 2000s, since we've been trying to get Hugo Chavez out of the presidency of Venezuela. And then when it was handed over to Maduro after Hugo Chavez died, now we've been trying to get Maduro out. So yeah, it's taken like 15 years.
Where you have a leader, tenuous as it may be, who could have been arrested while we're sitting in this room.
I don't know what he's talking about right there. He could have been arrested while they were sitting in this room.
Who has managed to cobble together the opposition the moment Maduro leaves.
Who has managed to cobble the opposition. So maybe it's because the opposition isn't all that strong. People in Venezuela aren't really blaming Maduro maybe for everything that's going on. Maybe the Venezuelan people know what has happened to their country. They know that the reason why they're economically suffering is not just because Maduro's a bad leader, but maybe because they've been sanctioned so hard and they haven't been able to make money in order to fuel their economy. You need money in order to keep your economy going. So maybe the Venezuelan people aren't so stupid. Maybe that's what it is. Here he goes on.
The moment Maduro leaves, everybody's going to raise their hand and says, take me, I'm the next president of Venezuela. There'll be 40 plus people who believe they are the rightful heir to Maduro.
So he admits there that once Maduro has been ousted, that there's 40 people in line saying, I'm the new rightful president. So they don't even have this figured out who the next guy's supposed to be. It's supposed to be Guaido, that's who the United States wants. But he's admitting right here that there's maybe 40 other people who are going to raise their hand and say, actually, I should be the president of Venezuela. But here's the last juicy clip from this secret recording.
So I don't know the when. I do know modality. Maduro's departure is important and necessary, but completely insufficient.
Hold on, let's listen to that again.
So I don't know the when. I do know modality. Maduro's departure is important and necessary, but completely insufficient.
So he just said, I don't know when, but I do know the modality. What's the modality, Mike? How are you going to do it? How are you going to oust Maduro? How are you going to get rid of him? You don't know when, but you know how. Well, we'd like to know how. What do you plan to do, Mike?